What is up, guys? So Sports back again with another video. In today's video, let's just talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers and what's been going on, what's ahead for the future, and just stuff like that. So, if you guys didn't know, I'm a big Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I've been a fan of the team for most of my life now, and this season has just been really weird, really rocky, and I'm just gonna give like a rant style, just rant about them, I guess, but just giving my thoughts on them. So, getting started, I just don't know what it like. The Cavs this year have just been weird because the Cleveland Cavaliers have been drama filled with LeBron James. They're always, obviously it makes sense, the best player in the league, whatever team he's on is always going to be in the news. But the Cavs, there were always talks about just how much like drama was in the team. Like Kevin Love, they had that issue 2 or 3 seasons ago when they had D Rose, D Wade, Isaiah Thomas, that people were mad at Kevin Love because he wasn't playing well or he was isolating himself from the team. They were talking about how he's not, when he was out with an illness that one time, Isaiah Thomas and D Wade came out and said that he just doesn't want to play or whatever. And then it was the big thing about the mental health issues he's going through and stuff like that. So with LeBron, they just always been in the media. And this year, well, LeBron, he's not here anymore. Obviously, he's in LA, and the Cavs are still like drama filled. You have 2 weeks ago, or about like a week ago, Kevin Love and the whole thing with him throwing temper tantrums on the court, and when Colin Sexton had the ball, he had Chris Paul on him, and Colin Sexton didn't see him, and then he got the ball from Colin Sexton and chucked it at Cedi Osman out of anger. There was a time in Toronto when he was pissed off and he was slapping the chair. He got fined for that, and the whole fiasco with Kevin Love is that he wants out. He wants to be traded, and it's like, I mean, you signed an extension with the Cavs, so I don't get it. Nobody forced you to put pen to paper. Whatever the Cavs told you, that if they're trying to compete, he signed his extension after the draft. If the Cavs wanted to compete, they would have traded that 8th overall pick for like a Kemba Walker or for like, another player that was looking to get traded, and they didn't. That right there should have told you that they're looking to rebuild. They're not looking to, contend, because the 8th overall pick, it's not a, but what's the word? Like, when you have the 8th overall pick, it's not like that's your franchise guy. It might turn out to be, you could end up getting like a Devin Booker or a Donovan Mitchell from that pick, but I doubt that's what the Cavs thought process was. They were just looking at best player available, and they were going to draft because, maybe he could turn out to be something good. And that pick ended up being Colin Sexton. Now we can spend a little bit of time talking about Colin Sexton. Last year, he had a pretty good rookie year. He had like 17 points shot 40% from 3. But this year with Darius Garland, he hasn't really taken a step back, but like the fit has just not been good on offense. Garland and Sexton, I just don't think they can coexist. Partly because Colin Sexton is an ISO player. Whenever he gets the ball, he's always looking to score. He's not looking to pass, and that's a big problem, especially for this backcourt, because Darius Garland, we'll talk about Darius Garland a little bit actually, but with Colin Sexton, it's just the tunnel vision issues, the low basketball IQ, and it's funny because, people are, hating on him, I guess, for this, but these same things were happening to Tristan Thompson when he was first drafted. There's a stat out there that says Colin Sexton is like the most blocked player by far this season. And Tristan Thompson, when he was a rookie or like his first few years, he was the most blocked player too, because he just didn't know how to post up. He get the ball low and then try to go high instead of picking it up at his shoulders. And that's the same thing with Colin Sexton, kind of. Colin Sexton, whenever he's driving, he always gets too deep into the paint and then he has nowhere to go. He's not going to pass out because he just doesn't really pass, so he's going to force up a terrible shot that leads to blocks. But with Colin Sexton, should the Cavs trade him? I don't know. I mean, if there's a trade out there for him, sure. I mean, take it, I guess. But I think he'd probably be more suited in a bench role, can be that spark plug off the bench, could potentially be like a Jordan Clarkson replacement for us. And I think that would make a lot of sense for him. But, I mean, Colin Sexton, he's cool. I don't really have much to say about him. He is what he is at this point. I don't think he'll ever change. The basketball IQ, the tunnel vision, I don't know if that'll ever get better. I really don't. Moving on to Darius Garland. Now, when he was first drafted, I was really optimistic because Colin Sexton, there's a reason why he was drafted, because Colin Sexton cannot pass, and he was not going to be the point guard of our future. Everybody saw it. So we drafted Darius Garland, and obviously people had their, things to say at, how are they going to fit? 2 small guards in the backcourt is not going to fit or whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Fast forward now, the first like 20 or so games, maybe not 20 games. Yeah, maybe like 25. No, we'll say 20 games. Garland was just terrible. He was horrible. He did not know. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He looked just out of place. He was hesitant. He wasn't shooting the ball. He was looking to pass more. And then people were bashing him, but the reason for that being was he hadn't played much basketball. He essentially is coming out of high school because he only played 5 games in college at Vanderbilt. He didn't play all summer league. He did play 2 games, I believe, in the preseason, and they were both, he played well, but it just wasn't much. And over like the past couple of weeks, excluding like that Boston Celtics team where he just stunk it up, we'll say over the past 6 games, he's just been great. He's averaging like 16 points and 5 assists, shooting well from the field. You love to see it. He's getting comfortable. He's getting more aggressive. He's taking more shots. He's having more confidence in himself, and the consistency is getting there. I think personally he's the point guard of the future for this team. He just looks great. He has the shot, he has the dribbling, he has the playmaking. On offense, it's there. He just, needs to more consistency, I guess, and he just needs to get stronger. He needs to get stronger and bigger because defensively it's atrocious. It's horrible for him defensively, and that's fine. I mean, he's a rookie. He's only 19 years old, so he still has a lot to grow, but I'm really expecting big things from him. But that's that for the backcourt. Rest of the team is amped. We already talked about Kevin Love. Tristan Thompson has actually had a career year this year, and it's funny because it is a contract year, so I don't know how much he'll demand in free agency. If I'm the Cavs, I really don't want to give him more than like 15 mil. After that, I think he can walk. I'd definitely love for Tristan Thompson to be a Cavs lifer, but 15 mil is the most I'm giving out, honestly. But looking at the other young guys, Dylan Windler has yet to play because of a low leg injury or something. KPJ was doing well until he sustained an unfortunate knee injury. He's out probably until like late January, early February-ish. We traded for Dante Exum. Obviously, that was the first trade of this season. People know about that. Dante Exum has been great so far for us. I'm honestly looking for Dante Exum to replace Colin Sexton in the backcourt, potentially. But, yeah, that's the team. Other news, like John Beilein calling his players thugs instead of slugs. I don't even want to talk about that. I just felt like that was blown way out of proportion. If the team knows what he meant, then there's no reason to make it something that it doesn't have to be. It's whatever. And we're 2-0 actually since he's called us that. We beat the Pistons and we beat the Nuggets. But other than that, that's the assessment of the team. This team it's getting there. It's getting there. Now I just want to go looking at trades potentially, what we could do in that. So obviously our biggest trade asset is Kevin Love. Kevin Love has expressed his willingness. He's expressed he wants to get traded, obviously. But what's out there is the question. Like, what can we get for them? There's teams that have been, linked to him, like the Nuggets, the Blazers, those teams. I think most likely it'll probably be the Blazers, just because, I mean, they're stuck in a pickle right now. They're not doing well at all. They are playing pretty badly. I think they're out of the playoff race right now. I think they're like the 9th seed or 10th seed or something. But obviously they need some change. They've had a lot of injuries, but the biggest problem for them is that they let a lot of key guys go. You let Al-Farouq Aminu walk in free agency to Orlando Magic. You trade Mo Harkless, you trade Myers Leonard, and then you let Seth Curry go back to the Dallas Mavericks. You were able to bring back, Rodney Hood, which is cool, but then he sustained an Achilles injury. He'll be out for the rest of the year. Yusuf Nurkic is set to be back soon, so that'll be good for them. But it's just not working out. If they want Kevin Love, I mean, they can have him. Personally, what I'd want, Zach Collins. I definitely want him. And it would probably have to be like Hassan Whiteside, Zach Collins. Maybe we can get a second-round pick out of them too. Or we can get Nasir Little. Nasir Little, I'm not really too sure. I don't think he's played as much this year, but I don't know. But, I mean, Nuggets also, I don't really see it. I mean, they'd have to trade like Gary Harris or something. I don't think so. If they want to give up like Michael Porter Jr., I'm all for it, because Michael Porter Jr., he plays, but he doesn't play. I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know why they aren't playing him. I think he'll be good. But he's our, Kevin Love is our biggest trade target. That's really our trade asset, That's really it. Tristan Thompson, I don't think he'll be moved. John Henson, yeah, but he'll probably know it's like a second-round pick. Everybody else, like John Henson, Matthew Dellavedova, Brandon Knight, those players will get us like second-round picks. They won't get us like anything big. Maybe John Henson can actually get us a late first from like the Clippers potentially. I don't know, but that's it on that. Looking forward, what do I want this team to do in the offseason? Just improve, get better. Free agent wise, I need us to get some defenders, man. Andre Robertson, hopefully we can resign John Henson, 2 good defenders. Mo Harkless is a free agent, I'm pretty sure. I'm just thinking of like key, like just big wing defenders. You know, that's really who we need to bring in because we don't have a lot of that. And looking at the draft, my draft big board, this is the 5 players who I want the Cavs to draft, depending on where they're, you know, positioned at, obviously. Anthony Edwards, this is in order, and actually, Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, Obi Toppin, Tyrese Halliburton, and then the last one, Jaden McDaniels. Those are like my top 5 guys. I think they'd all fit in well. Tyrese Halliburton could be that. I've seen a lot of people compare him to like a Malcolm Brogdon, and that's like the type of player that the Cavs need. Just a defender on the wing, alongside Colin Sexton, who can also facilitate and hit the 3 at a good rate. That'd be perfect. That would be perfect. And Tyrese Halliburton, I think he's like 6'5" too, so he'd be a perfect addition. Anthony Edwards, he deals with consistency issues, so I don't really know about him too much. James Wiseman, he's a question mark still because he has motor issues and he's not playing for the rest of this year because the NCAA kicked him out or whatever, or he left. Obi Toppin would be nice, you know, a nice energy guy, but again, he's 22, I believe now, so he's pretty on the old side. And Jaden McDaniels could be a good scorer at the 3. That's the plan, man. You know, get younger, really, get assets, build up this team. You have a good foundation of young guys. Darius Garland, I think, is going to be great. KPJ, I think, is going to be good. Dylan Miller, we still don't know a lot about him. He's been out. Colin Sexton, he's also a question mark with what they do with him. Maybe he goes to the bench. Maybe he gets traded. I don't know. You know, but this team, I think this team is headed in the right direction. John Beilein, is he the coach of the future for this team? I mean, the signing was just weird, you know, because he's like 67 or something like that. I think, you know, I would have loved for them to get like an Alex Jensen or a Dave Yeager, but you know, they got John Beilein. I think Beilein will probably be like a gap coach until they can find, you know, somebody solidified, because you're signing a 67-year-old. If you're doing that now, that's for like a team looking to win, not a team looking to rebuild. So it's kind of weird. But I mean, I like him. You know, he has a good system, and the system's doing cool so far, I guess. I mean, our record doesn't really show how well it is, but I mean, yeah, that's just my thoughts on the Cavs this year. Let me know if you guys like these type of videos where I just talk about certain teams, just talk about what they should do, how they're doing so far, because I like to just sit down and talk to you guys. But I mean, yeah, we're on the road to 50 subs. You know, hopefully you guys can hit that subscribe button. Please like and share with your friends. And it's So Sports, and I'm out.